Hello, welcome to the Valleycraft Mod Spotlight. This mod adds a lot of different stuff, so we're going to be going all around the houses today. So let's start with something which really does look very, very cool indeed, and that is these braziers here. So you can see we've got them. We've got a soul brazier. It's going to scare piglins away, I believe. Also the copper brazier. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so it's a cool item there. You can also get a bunch of different tools as well. Like for instance, you've got like a knife. You can even upgrade this thing with the smithing table to get. If you look at the smithing table, you'll see there's a bunch of extra things. So we upgrade a gold sword with copper. We're going to get rose gold items as well. We've got the sickle, the shovel, and there's actually a ladle as well, which is a bit like a shovel. This is like an early game shovel. So we're just going to survival here. And there's a few different items for... This is actually a rope bridge. I forgot about this. This is the rope bridge. So you need the anchors, and you can just place down the pieces, and then you can go over the rope bridge. So if we just look at that, you see we've got the rope bridge, and the rope bridge anchor. And this requires the rope, which you get from plant fibers. Now, to get the plant fibers, you're going to actually need what we've already got here, which is kind of handy. And you see, if we break some grass here, we're going to get the plant fibers. Now, they can be used to make a variety of different stuff. So there's a spike trap, which is what you might expect. We've got a net. So look at net. The hanging glass planter actually is pretty cool. Let's look at that. So the planter can take a bunch of different stuff. I think it's mainly flowers it will take. So let's get some orchids. So also have this, the hanging glass planter. So that you can see, you're going to need moss blocks for that and rope. I can put a flower in there maybe. So that would be pretty cool to do that. Let's look at some loot tables just to see what like extra items we can find. So here we're going to take an abandoned mineshaft loot table and just see, like, just take a few of them and see what we've got any extra loot. Okay, we've got some glow berries in here. Right, so glow berries actually are vanilla, right? And then we can just bone meal that. Right. So it looks like so I'm not really seeing anything in that chest. Let's the Bastion treasure chest now. Okay, here we got some different stuff. So spicy berries. Okay, so one important recipe with the spicy berries. So one thing you can do with the spicy berries is, if we take a look at this recipe, we're going to need to get spicy berry wine. So if we get some of that, and then we do a use on that. So yeah, so the spicy berries, I believe they can actually, with an add-on, be turned into dragon's breath, and you have to make them into the berry wine. This is a pretty cool item as well. We've got the runic crystal ball, so that's pretty cool. It's got some particles coming from it. Let's actually carry on with what we were doing before. Bastion treasure. So the next one that seems to have got some extra stuff is the jungle temple. Let's take a look at this one. Amaranth seeds, okay. We've got some corn as well. So not much in simple dungeon. Shipwreck supply has apparently been modified as well. Ancient anchors are in there apparently. And more moss blocks. And there is the runic crystal ball in there. And the golden chalice as well. Looks like a decorative thing. Also this item, the bomb bag, right click, give you some TNT. So we get fire resistance from them. We can also make them into the golden spicy berries. We've also got this powerful sword called the Traveller's Sword. Iron sword with netherite will create the Traveller's Sword. Let's take a glow squid here. we're going to get squid suckers. So there's actually a bunch of different food in this mod. A lot of it is food. So you can see we can make glow squid soup and squid rolls. If we look at the different types of roll, that's with kelp, yeah. If we look at the different types of roll, we've got salmon, tropical, and squid, and a bento box as well. Just made like so. There's some interesting stuff, like if you've got packed ice, for instance, and you use these, the tongs, which are just made with iron, you can silk touch them. So that's something you can do. You could also potentially do something like this with a sickle. Sickle's not normally used as hoes, but I guess in this mod they are. We've got some other cool stuff as well. Like if you look at this, like we've got grass turf. So that can be made with balls of mud. So that's when you break a mud block, which is obviously something that you get. I imagine it's in swamps and stuff like that. So yeah, you can get balls of mud. That can be made into grass turf or mud. Or you can smelt it into brown bricks, which can be made into mud bricks. And then you can go for mossy mud bricks. So you've got a few different options there. Let's take a look at the stone cutter. You can do some of the slabs and stairs. So yeah, so if we just look at the items here, another thing that's kind of very interesting, if we go back to the berries here, is you can actually get these, the berry, and I was thinking like, they just spelled cider wrong, but actually this is a thing. Apparently it's not quite as, like, the taste is not quite as sharp with a sizer, so that's pretty cool. Rice bowls as well, lamb biryani. So bunch of different stuff here. You make the mead mugs. Yeah, it's a type of mead. I looked it up on this. It's called Viking Craft. Some place in Georgia. There's some information about this. It's quite an obscure thing. I've never seen. Obviously, I've seen alcohol, but never stuff quite like this. Actually, I'm curious to see what it would actually taste like. So yeah, the bitter berries as well. One thing as well that is particularly cool is that we have the various different flowers as well. There's all different biome rules for all this stuff. I'm not going to go into a massive amount of detail with that. But you can see we've got small fern bush, orange fern. Let's look at peony. So we have a one high peony. And the same with lilac. And the rose bush as well. And I wonder if you can actually, what does it deal with this? So we can just break that one if we wanted to bring this over. Also, probably fits actually better. Okay, so regular berries grow like that. As you know, let's take a look. There's the sweet berries, and then let's take a look at these ones. Very, very similar from the bitter berries as well. They are not quite so good for you though. They are poisonous. So the bitter berries are in the jungle, and if you are in the jungle, there are some other things that you may run into. And that all the volcanic blocks are in the jungle. So these blocks, and carmine as well. There's a lot of different types of carmine. Mossy carmine is in the... This is like a big deal. There is like some way that the stuff will grow. I think it might be this one. So you can see these are all jungle blocks here that you're going to find in the jungle. We may have a look at them. These are all kind of cool dark blocks, I guess. And you're going to get salt ore in the nether rock salt ore. We can take a look at some of the stuff with salt. Obviously, this is in like Pam's and stuff like that as well. So, yeah, salt and rock salt. Let's have a look at the saltpeter rather. Saltpeter can be made into gunpowder. That's its main use. Rock salt. Tomatoes. Now, tomatoes also got onions. We've got tomatoes, we've got onion, and pumpkin stuff is extra. This is pretty handy as well. Rock salt and rotten flesh is going to make monster jerky. Mead. Grub. Has that got a different meaning? It might have a different meaning. Normally that means like, you know. I really like the picture for the cod chowder. That's really cool. Because you can see both the head and the tail of the fish, which is pretty cool. Tomatoes then. And amaranth, of course, that we saw was a loot drop. So let's do a little bit of growing stuff. You know, one thing actually that is pretty cool, you've got these witches items. These are also hoes, but you can see they're actually more powerful than some stuff. Like if you take the witch wand, for instance, I could use that as a hoe. But it's also a good like weapon as well. So you can use both the sickle as a hoe, but also the wand as a hoe as well. So yeah, tomatoes. So let's just look at some stuff. Tomato doesn't look like it's got a seed, but it does have that. And so we also found the amaranth, didn't we? Amaranth seeds. I did notice there's also this as well. You get rocks. You'll find these just randomly about, just like that. Like probably some of you guys have seen similar mods that do that sort of thing. And you can actually craft them up with snowballs, and you get these ones, the snowy rocks. So you could do like a little pattern or something like that. We have a bunch of different lanterns. So we've got the hanging lanterns. So this is available. We've also got the redstone one, so that actually works. This one actually I think works underwater as well. Well, that's gone now. So you've got the hanging lantern. So you can see it has a little thing on top there, and also got different types of jack-o'-lantern as well, the copper and the soul. Similarly, so you can see how they're different colours. And can we make it? So does this emit light as well? Let's have a look. Yeah, it does. So a bookshelf that emits light. That's a cobwebbed one. And there's also, I noticed there's a dish one as well. So the dish shelf. So it's kind of like interesting, this mod, in that it needs a stew pot and a tea mug. And I think the tea mug was what we used to make the, could make the tea minus tea. Oh, that's right, yeah, because there's also the, another thing you'll find often are going to be, sorry I'm just completely going all over the place with this. It's just, some of you won't be able to handle that. So that's the dandelion bush. That is, wow. I don't know if that's intended. It's probably not. Miner's lettuce, I think. Also, so this I'm not sure. Yeah, you can make this into miner's tea. Mushroom salad is also used for. And if you use onions, let's just see what plants we can actually plant. There's also a range of baked goods as well, so you could bake up various types of dough. Onion. Can we just plant the onion? It looks like it doesn't need water because it's just going to that. So there may be different rules with the water. A bunch of different growth stages, which is always cool. Tomatoes are good. Yeah, so here you can see there's these different baked goods. Lots of different textures for different baked items. The flour, we can make that from wheat, as you might imagine. Different types of apple. We've got baked apple and glazed apple, which is from a honeycomb chunk. So we like that. It's always cool when stuff like that happens. The honeycomb also, yeah, there's golden honeycomb as well, which is also cool. Crystallized honey with honeycomb and powdered snow. Wow. That's a very interesting recipe. And these are not interesting. And that is it. So pretty cool. Like, certainly I've noticed, like, some of the newer things, like powdered snow can make a frozen slime ball, and the crystallized honey. There's some cool additions for, so there's the witches stuff that I was telling you about, the runic crystal ball. You can also make, oh no, that is vanilla, isn't it? We've got these fruit skewers, raw eggs, golden kelp. A lot of the items you can just make the golden versions. And I would say sort of seeing, oh yeah, I'm not sure if this is actually something that happens with these are things that are interesting, the arrow bundles. So you just make them with rope and arrows around it. If you take a regular bundle, and this I think must be a new thing in REI that I've not seen before. So we'll pick that up and we'll right click to place it in the bundle. And you can see it takes up 4. But you will recall there's actually 8 in there, right? So we can get that out. And if we right click on the arrow bundle, you see it's going to turn into 8 arrows. So we had like a bunch of these. It's essentially it's going to be 2 stacks. So what it means, of course, is that you can have a bunch more arrows without, so you can just carry more arrows without using up additional slots. So that's a pretty cool little thing, that skeleton cookie dough, which is just flour and sugar. And that makes the skeleton cookie. So yeah, I didn't quite talk about the furniture too much. So we have the tables. Table. Stool. The rounded barrel. That's actually a lot better than the regular barrel, that, isn't it? Yeah, that looks much better. And I think I may have alluded to it at some point. We have the stew pot and the, I think maybe it has to be this. Let's see. I think this maybe goes on the table. Yeah. That's what that's for. And apparently, if we go into the chimney here, oh, that's right. So if we wanted to get up this chimney, we could also use a ladder available in all wood types, iron and bamboo. This thing can actually be freestanding as well. So the way you want to click it is you want to make sure you're looking in this sort of point and then click on the top. I believe is the correct way to do it. Let's have a look. Yeah. Obviously it's easier if you're just placing it on a block. And then you can go down here and you see this is also a ladder. So you can actually climb up the chimney, which is kind of interesting. If we look at chimney, so it's made like that. The stone cut, you can just cut it directly from cobblestone apparently. A lot of the time you'll be in the stone cutter. There are some like there's a bunch of different types of like verdantine, and there's some obscure sort of things like that. Which I'm sure you can find. You can see them all. Fossil. What does fossil give you? Probably bone, right? Normally that's what you get from fossils. Let's get. I do like the sharpened flint. It's pretty cool. Bone meal you get from that, and the bookshelves. The ancient anchor. I'm not exactly sure what that does. The beveled glass. There's a beveled glass. The only thing that we're still unsure what the point of this is. Frozen slime ball gives you fire resistance. Oh, we missed rice as well. Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, how can we forget the scarecrows as well? So there's a bunch of different scarecrows here as well. We have a glowing scarecrow. Let's have a look at these scarecrows, shall we? These are pretty cool. Soul scarecrow. Copper scarecrow. So I think it's all just visually just slightly different looking. There's also the target rare crow. So that was a little target. That's a cute one. And what else? Glistering watermelon juice. That's interesting. I wonder what happens if you drink this. Not much, apparently. Probably quite refreshing, though, I'm sure. But yeah. Oh, yeah, tree branches. You get these. These will turn into sticks. They just drop from cutting down trees. The snowy bush as well. That's interesting. Combination of snow. I wonder what happens if we break this one. Not much is the answer. But cool nonetheless. And I think we're about done here. Trying to find extra stuff. Not seeing much. Oh yeah, the blue poppy bush. Missed that one. So we have the blue poppy bush and also the verdant bush as well. So here's the blue poppy bush. And there's the verdant bush. We can take a look at some bone meal activity. Doesn't do much. Let's just remove some things. Doesn't seem like they really drop anything. But yeah, so I think that's going to do it for this video, so thanks for watching. Yeah, actually, I've just realised I've missed a huge amount of stuff. So let's not finish it quite there. Wow, the weeping swamp willow. Is that actually a tree or what? It might be. I haven't missed a huge amount of stuff, but enough that I would like to just try to do a little bit more here. Yeah, the cattail stuff is... Obviously, the cattail is a water thing. I think it grows on the side of mud blocks. If you look at the mud blocks, you can see you've got mud and then you've got muddy cattail roots. It does need to have water, though. It's also a falling block as well, which was interesting. I think I may have tried to put some down here. Oh no, you do just do that. Yeah, because I thought this looked like seagrass. Maybe I guess it's already grown. Okay, so that's how that works. You also get some different drops as well from skeletons. Yeah, so there's extra drops from skeletons. We've got wild carrots. But they don't really drop. But they will obviously drop the item form. But you just can't replant them. I guess if you replanted them, they wouldn't be wild anymore, would they? A couple new mushroom type. Doesn't look like that grows into a giant mushroom. Tumbleweed. There's like a mod on. So I think tumbleweed is the old. Tumbleweed is always cool. And we've got moss vines. And I think also rice. I think we grow that underwater. Scalding sandstone, yeah. And yeah, I think that this time it really is the end. So thanks for watching.